Hey, I'm back. Sorry about the hiatus. It's just been that kind of year, that time of year when I've had to travel a lot. But what I'd like to do, I'm going to get right to it, is talk about my June favorites in today's video. And this is really focused more around travel. We're getting into the high travel season of the year, June, July, and August. And because I've been traveling, frankly, that's what's taken me away from making my wonderful videos and spending time with you. I just thought that I would share a couple of tips and around the theme of June favorites. So I'm going to get right to it. My first June favorite, I recently picked these up at Bed Bath & Beyond. They are tiny, tiny bottles of nail polish that are produced by Orly, which is an excellent brand. These are less than a half an ounce. In fact, they're 0.18 fluid ounce. And, I don't know about you, but when I pack my 3-ounce bag, I'm always challenged to figure out what I'm going to put in that bag because it's not a very large bag. It's basically slightly larger than a sandwich bag. So these are great if you're going away where you need to make sure you look your best. Pick up one of these little bottles of nail polish so you can make sure that your nails are done at all times and are looking great. Along those lines, I also picked up these tiny 12 mini Emery board pack for my travel toiletries. And basically, they're just little tiny Emery boards. They come off like matchsticks, if you can see, and you can use them and throw them away. And it's so small and easily packable. I thought that would be another great thing, and I just love them. I think they're great. I just got back from my trip. I could have used them. Can't wait until the next time when I do. The other thing that I'd like to talk about is my new favorite Essie nail color for summer. This is called Secret Story. It's a pretty, pretty pink color. I've got it on one nail. I tried it on in the store. You should never do that, but I did. I just had to make sure it looked pretty. And it is just the right shade of pink that I love for summer. The other thing that I'd like to talk about is perfume. I have some wonderful perfumes in my closet, in my bathroom, and I have some really nice ones that are also tiny and packable. There are two stores. One is Sephora, and Gap also makes a line of tiny perfumes. This one is called Close. It's less than, I think, 2 ounces, probably about an ounce, and very, very packable. Let's see, what else? Retractable, packable makeup brushes. This one is by Sonia Kashuk. I've seen them even smaller. If you go into Bed Bath & Beyond, they are a great source of travel items, particularly makeup brushes. They make even tiny, small ones you can just easily put in your toiletries bag and not have it take up a lot of room. The other thing that I recently discovered, I don't know about you guys, but I had been using a plastic pencil sharpener to keep my eye pencils and my lip pencils sharp. And I don't know if I necessarily think they're the best. So I recently switched to a metal pencil sharpener. This one is by Staedtler. It's actually used as a mechanical pencil sharpener, mostly by engineers who have to do drawings and things. This is the perfect size, the perfect opening for my MAC and my Urban Decay pencils, eye and lip pencils. So I highly recommend that, and if you can see, it's very tiny, very packable, won't take up a lot of space in your travel bag. Now, moving on to other items that I'm loving, particularly for the travel season, is some iPhone apps. One in particular, there is an app that I recently downloaded called Sleep Stream 2. And basically, it's a tiny noise machine. It will emulate rain, it will emulate the sound of the forest, it will emulate the ocean. And so if you have trouble sleeping while you're traveling, maybe the first couple of nights you're getting used to a new bed, or if you're on a noisy plane and you just want to kind of get away from it all, I highly recommend it. This is what it looks like. It's called Sleep Stream 2. It's $1.99 to download on your iPhone. I recently took it on a trip to Denver, Colorado, and used it and loved it. And I used it, frankly, with the next item that I am loving for June, and that is my set of BOSE noise canceling headphones. Now, these are not cheap. These are over $200. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for them. They might have even been close to $300. They are some of the best headphones that I've owned. I bring them when I travel on long trips. They do a great job of really minimizing a noisy plane. And I certainly used them on my Friday trip when I went to Denver, which is a 3.5-hour trip, nonstop, and plugged it in, frankly, to my iPhone, where I also have iTunes. And then eventually, when I came back very late on Friday night, I wanted to get some sleep. I turned the sound machine on, the Sleep Stream 2, and turned it on to a rainstorm. And frankly, we're getting a rainstorm outside right now, and it was wonderful. Put me right to sleep. I love it. I also took along with me, and I'm loving this, is my new NOOK. Now, this is not something that's brand new. I showed this to you in February. My husband got this for me as a Valentine's Day gift, but I am really loving this NOOK. I think the big difference between the NOOK and the Kindle is that NOOK is in color, and the magazines look, for example, if you're downloading a magazine, they look exactly like a magazine should. They even have the color ads, whereas the Kindle is black and white. Now, the advantage with the Kindle is the WhisperNet connection. The WhisperNet connection does not require a Wi-Fi connection. The NOOK seems to require you be near a Wi-Fi spot in order to download any books, certainly not to use it. But if you want to skim through some newspapers and download them, or at Oprah's latest magazine or People's latest magazine, with the NOOK you have to get to a Wi-Fi connection, and it should be a free connection. I don't think I figured out a way to pay for a connection if one is required. The other thing that I love to bring, that I'm loving, frankly, and I've been incorporating this into my diet at home, are I've really been fine-tuning my diet, and one of the things that I've done is I've figured out a way to fill in the hours when I get hungry during the day. Between breakfast and lunch, it can be almost 3 hours. Between lunch and dinner is the toughest time for me. So my nutritionist recently introduced me to these. They're called thinkThin bars, and you can find them in Trader Joe's for $1.69 a bar, or you can buy them in Whole Foods, and frankly, they sell them for the same price. But they have 20 grams of protein, they're gluten-free, and there's 0 grams of sugar in them. And there's 230 calories in them, but you know what? If that's going to save you from dipping into something really unhealthy between the lunch and dinner space, I highly recommend them. They definitely hold me over. I put them in the freezer ahead of time before I go on a long trip. I'll take it out of my purse. They're very packable, so you're not noshing on nuts and chips and all the other crap that they might feed you on an airplane as well. The other thing that I like to bring with me is my transition shakes. My transition shakes are something that I talked about when I was in the Bikini Body Boot Camp. Well, here's what I do when I go away on a trip is I put 2 cups of the shake mix in a baggie, which is the equivalent, which will give you the equivalent of 1 shake. I pack it all in my little tiny blender bottle. They have large versions of this. Some of you may have seen these. They got the little mixing ball in there. I just store the shake mix right in here, store it, put it in my purse, and when I'm ready for lunch, or if I'm getting hungry and I don't want to eat crap, I'll have my shake, and that's exactly what I did when I was in Denver, and it was wonderful. I didn't gain an ounce on that trip. All right, we're getting down to the wire here. The other thing that I like to pack with me, now this is something that's really optional. I like to bring a little tiny bathrobe and a pair of my own slippers. When I'm in a hotel room, I don't like to walk around in my bare feet, especially on carpeting. Who knows, what's in a carpet. A few years ago, I found in Bath and Body Works, around Christmas time a few years ago, they put out, they had different gifts in the store, and this was a cashmere travel sweater. It's short, or a robe. It's short, very packable. I'll bring this, particularly if I'm not flying and I've got the I've got the, you know, the luxury of packing more items than I would for a plane. And I also bought these matching slippers. They're cashmere, part cashmere, and it's a nice little luxury to have along with you. You know, if you want to bring, you know, just a few of the comforts from home, that's a really nice thing to have. Let's see. The other thing that I bring, now mind you, this is full. I mean, this sounds a little crazy, but when I go into a store, like a news vendor store in the airport, they charge you $2.50 to $3 for a bottle of water. Now, one thing that I do, and you might think this is cheap, okay, buy your own water, but I will bring an empty bottle like this and I will collapse it. These are collapsible, and I'll just put it in my purse or put it in my suitcase. So when I arrive at my destination, I have a water bottle that I can fill up. I don't know too many hotels these days that don't have a gym that doesn't have a filtered water dispenser. So I just fill it up when I'm there. I've got my own water bottle. It's disposable. When I leave, I throw the thing away. I get water on board the plane on the way home, and I'm done. So it'll save you a couple of bucks, you know, maybe even, you know, $5-6 if you drink a lot of water. I think the last thing that I wanted to talk about that I'd love for June, particularly for the travel season, is the conundrum of what, you know, I love using or cutting down on as much bulk as I possibly can. Now I have an okay size makeup bag and an okay size brush bag, but what I've decided to do on the last couple of trips is pack my makeup in a quart size Ziploc bag. I can see everything in here. It hardly takes up any bulk. They are some of the most perfect makeup and travel bags around. And you know what? If you lose them or if they break, so what? You replace it. But it really enables you to cut down on the bulk, maximize the room to make room for other things that you would like to take on your trip, and helps you to have, you know, the creature comforts of home around you rather than leaving stuff home because you just didn't have the room for it. So that's what I've got today. I hope you enjoyed my little video. I promise you that I will get back on track again. You'll have a new video soon. And until then, have a wonderful week. Take care.